Welcome to the 14th Podcast of Soulful Thoughts from Ireland. Over these summer months, every 2 weeks, I am bringing new stories and reflections of my time here, reflecting on the times we are currently living in and this grand pilgrimage of life and death that we are all on. This week, Brigid's Well. Some years ago, I had visited Brigid's Well in Liscannor in County Clare. My memory of this well spoke to me of its holy power, but also firmly implanted in my mind, and perhaps more so in my body, was that it was dark, damp, and cold. This time I had my warmer fleece at hand, but strangely I did not need it. The well on this visit, to the contrary, was light, bright, and warm, with the sunlight beaming through the trees above, causing magical shadows to dance around and into the well itself. There is a narrow entranceway, with a large shelf on the left, home to numerous statues, rosaries, prayers, simple paintings, and photos of people who have died or in need of healing. It is a menagerie of prayer, all bundled together, overlapping, as if supporting one another through their earthly journey and onwards. To the right, the wall is covered with more photos, prayers, ribbons, shells, and statues on high, looking up to the beam across the rooftop even more. You could feel the deep devotion to Brigid, or Mary of the Gale, as she is often called, Mary of Ireland. I knelt down at the well, making my offering, and I was immediately struck by the purity of the water. I could feel its pure, healing nature constantly pouring forth. The living water. Unexpectedly, out of my heart came an emotional prayer. I prayed for healing for all forms of abuse that has been endured by all of humanity. In that moment, my heart was seized with a deep grief and sadness for so many abuses in our world, inflicted upon such sweet, innocent souls, young and old, who are doing nothing more than showing up on earth to live their life in the best possible way that they can. Through this prayer, my attention was taken above and to the right of the well. There, within the wall, was a deep womb-like area, a beautiful round space carved into the wall. There were many candles burning deep within. I uttered the word, Brigid's womb, and lit a candle. I was taken into a deep inner silence, simply being in her womb-like presence. Kalak is now your mother. She is the mother that is all forms. These are the words Brigid spoke to me. Kalak is the crone who reigns from Samhain until Bealtaine, from November through May. And then she is rebirthed as the maiden, as the fertile daughter, who then reigns from Bealtaine through Samhain, when she once more becomes the crone. Brigid is understood to be one of those faces of the maiden, and in fact at times the very triple goddess herself, of maiden, mother, crone. Kalak is claiming me, and here Brigid was confirming for me who to open myself to, who to disappear into, and reappear renewed and reborn. For that is what my journey here is doing. I am rebirthing in these holy waters, in the sacred trees, and the land, and in the salty, life-giving sea. And I know I am only beginning. It seems our whole world is being given the same opportunity at this time. Some births are hard and long, others are more gentle and flowing. I have paid my dues with long and hard. Now it is time for the gentle. The waters flowing here at the well also confirming this. Brigid's tender and light presence conveying this. All this time of deep communion, I was alone at the well, but now I heard someone approaching. I turned and made my way out. There was a mother and daughter, with the mother obviously carrying the burden of a stroke in her body, with a hand that was hanging loosely at her side, and a shuffling motion in her walking. The daughter said, with pilgrim and pained eyes, "Please, take your time." I told them that I had been here a long while. They nodded in understanding and made their way into the well enclosure. As I basked in the sunshine, I began to read the information posted about the well. It said that this is one of the most visited holy wells in Ireland, one that people have visited for centuries. The Aran Islanders who live close by off the coast of Clare in particular had a deep attachment to this place in earlier days, and they called it Brigid's Bath. It continued saying there are 2 pattern days celebrated here each year, February the 1st and August the 14th. There are distinct patterns that are walked, while traditional rounds or prayers are repeated while walking. Of course, February the 1st is celebrated as in bulk, honoring the middle of winter and knowing the sunlight is returning. And it is, of course, St. Brigid's feast day. August 14th is the eve of the Assumption of Mary, a very interesting feast day as it celebrates the physical and spiritual resurrected nature of our being. This deserves more attention, which I will explore another time. For now, the traditional rounds or prayers are: May Jesus salute you, O Holy Brigid. May Mary salute you, and may I salute you myself. It is to you I come, making my complaint, and asking your help for the honor of God. Yes, it does say complaint, which perhaps we may understand as a bad translation from the Gaelic. Or perhaps it is a correct one, as so often our prayer is basically a complaint, complaining about how our life is and what we want to be changed in it. Anyway, you say this prayer while you walk 5 times, sunwise, around Brigid's statue, which is in the courtyard. Then you move up the stairs and walk around the trees 5 times, repeating the same prayer. And within the trees is a cross. Again, you circle this 5 times. You come back down and pray at the well. The blessing associated with this well is, all that is tangled will be unraveled. All that is tangled will be unraveled. As I was walking these patterns, I noticed that you are creating a spiral pattern. And I started to feel the triskele, or the triskele, as some will say, the Celtic symbol of 3 interconnected spirals, which can mean life, death, and life again, or the triple goddess of daughter, mother, crone. I felt the need for updated rounds or prayers. The old prayers just do not work for my soul, and neither should they. I hope that we have evolved enough in our consciousness that also our prayers have evolved. So here's my well rounds. Brigid, I feel your light as I walk. Brigid, I feel your holy fire as I pray. Brigid, may your waters heal me, so that I may honor the true life of love. May we feel the light within of the one we are praying to. May we feel their fire of passion within. May we open to accept the healing, and may we honor the true life of our own nature. This surely makes a good recipe for any prayer. Brigid is a perfect example of human evolution in many ways. She began as a child of the goddess Danu and the people of the light, the Tuatha Dé Danann. She became a goddess based on this family lineage, bringing the creative, fiery inspiration to poets and craftspeople. She brought the blessing of fire for hearth and home, and protection for mother and children, and also gifts of healing for people and animals alike. She then shapeshifted into Saint Brigid, bringing these same gifts, along with the association with the holy wells and healing waters. She carries the sacred flame associated with pre-Christian rituals and goddesses, specifically Vesta in Roman mythology and Hestia in Greece, who were the goddesses of the hearth and fire. My own experience of Brigid so far is one of a being of great light, a refined nature. I feel her as the Tuatha Dé Danann, the people of the light, the tribe of Danu. And I feel her at her wells. Yesterday, while walking, I came across a beautiful stream with a natural shallow pool and a gentle trickling of water over the stones. Brigid was right there, telling me that anywhere I wish to honor and to create a holy place of water, she will be there. And so, when we walk the patterns and pray the rounds, we create the holy places. This is how it has been done since ancient times. It is up to us to recreate these ways that are relevant for our souls now, honoring the past, creating the future, living the sacredness of our creative fire and our cool, healing waters. I also discovered that before the well being dedicated to Saint Brigid, it was in fact dedicated to Cailleach. There was only one feast or pattern day. Many stories and different pagan rites abound around this feast day. Basically, they celebrated abundance and harvest. with much singing and dancing and frolicking by unmarried women and men. It aligns with the feast of Lunasa, but more of that later. For those who want to know a little more about Kalak, please do listen to the 11th podcast, An Kalak, the Hag of Bera, and the 4th podcast, Fertility of the Land. There are so many stories of this Kalak, this one who created the landscape, this one who is all life and death, and who births and rebirths herself and us. So, in the meantime, I wish you warmth of heart and hearth, creative inspiration, and gentle healing from the well of love and the well of Brigid. Slán.